So,
oh yeah. Well, actually, I saw both you and didn't Eddie work with her too at one time?
yeah.
I mean, you had a hell of a match with her. That was great.
You know what? I appreciate you saying that because I'm not a guy to toot my own horn, but I did have a hell of a match with her. As a matter of fact,
No, you did, Chris. And I watched it, and because I thought to myself, this tells you because even though she was a woman, she was a big, well-built woman, right? And she could actually work, but she's only going to be
over.
Yeah,
she was over, Rick, as you know, which is the biggest thing. She was over.
Oh yeah,
but
you made her look like you were wrestling Ricky Steamboat. I mean, I watched it. I went, holy shit! This is big time stuff. And I never got to see her in her prime. I've seen her a couple times since, but for obvious reasons, I avoid that relationship.
Right.
But I mean, she's always very cordial to me. But I never met her when she was in her prime or wrestling. But you and Eddie both had a hell of a match with her. I thought, God, that's pretty cool because, she was big enough and strong enough to actually.
And that's the thing. Once again, I came in and I cut some pretty scathing promos on her because I thought that's how I'll get heat out of this. And also, too, a lot of people in that era, they didn't want to see me wrestling a woman. A lot of people, like I had a pretty good fan base. They thought it was bullshit. So I thought, the stiffer I can be on her, the better it's going to be for this angle. So.
Yeah.
And the missing piece of the puzzle is at the time, she was Hunter's girlfriend. So, and when I went to talk to Vince first, and he said, do you have any problems working with a woman? I said, well, no. And he said, I don't want you to go easy on her. I don't want you to think of her as a woman. I want you to go in there and work. So, you know my style. I'm not stiff, but I work hard.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Kate. Now, wait a minute. Were you making a statement or asking a question?
Well, I was kind of...
The lion tamer is okay. The rest of the stuff is pretty snug. I just passed that along from your father, probably, from being raised that way. Yeah.
That's the way I was trained in Canada.
Yeah, there's no denying the Chris Jericho. The word would be snug.
Yeah, okay. So there you go. Snug is the word. I like that word. I'll take snug. But once again, that's dungeon style, it's Japanese style. It's no excuse to be hurting people, but I work snug. Exactly. That's a
well, the good thing is you're safe. The word snug is good, and you're very safe. And the other thing is, which is a tribute to you. A lot of guys mind. You don't mind getting your ass kicked either. You're not afraid of anything, and guys have jumped on you and potatoed you. I mean, our business isn't as perfect. You would have been good for Brody. And he had enough of me. I don't know how you were lucky enough to miss Brody and Hanson. You'd have been right up their alley.
But I used to have that deal with guys like Bob Holly or Benoit or guys like that.
Yeah.
People shame in this day and age. It's like, hit me as hard as you. Don't break my nose. Don't knock out my teeth. But hit me as hard as you can. Forehead.
It doesn't hurt. Yeah, we get hit harder. Hurt. I've had a guy punch me in the bar, and I'll say to him, I've been hit harder with working punches.
That's what Ricky Morton told me. He said, can you hit me with a shoot punch? I said, why? It's because your working punches are killing me.
Yeah.
So we had the match that we had one match in Detroit, and we had another one in Miami, and the Miami one was really good. And afterwards, I felt really good about it. And when I went back to talk to her afterwards, she's been really cold to me. And she was in a room with Hunter, and I came in the room, they were both staring at me. And I could tell that, it was one of the things that I walked in on a conversation. And she had tiny black eyes. Something that happened, I didn't kick her in the face or something. In the course of the match, something went down. And she was snug, too, by design. I said, you have to be snug because, people need to buy this. So, anyways, the next day in Tampa, I show up. And I get called to Vince's office. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get, a pat on the back for having this great match with China. And when I went in there, man, he went ballistic on me about how dare I give China a black eye because she's a woman. How could you do this to a woman? And I'm thinking to myself, you told me not to go easy on her in the first place. But, and then, man, he went nuts on me. He said, you're green as grass. I was sold a bill of goods when you got here. This is a good one. Your contract isn't worth the paper it's printed on. And it's like, oh, my God. I just got this horrible verbal beatdown. And Jack Lansman was in the room, and Jim Ross was in the room, and all three of them were just staring at me. This is not something. And this was probably about 3 months after I first arrived. And and I was like, I'm done here. I'm finished. And he said to me after this long, he accused me of being egotistical and what's the word he used? An elitist. You're an elitist, and all of this stuff. And I think it all came down from those. From the Hunter's crew. I think they didn't like me. They didn't like the way I was conducting myself, and they had Vince's ear. They had a lot of stroke. They had a lot of influence, and I think it was one of those times when Vince just said, "You know what? You're right," and he was very, very specific in telling me that I had one more chance to have a good match. He said, because every other match I had was terrible, even though I had probably the best match of the show the night before. In Miami, but I didn't say anything. I wasn't gonna. I don't work like that.
What was that? Was that with China and Miami?
That was with China. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
China and Miami. Yeah. And I wasn't gonna start saying, "What are you talking?" I was just kind of sat there. Thank you, sir. And I have another type of a vibe, and just let him go off, and let him say what he wanted to say. And so then he made me go apologize to China, which was brutal because I don't like to apologize to anybody, especially for that, but. It's like, I told Benoit this, and talked to Bret Hart about it. And Bret said that Vince had done something similar to him when he first started. He says he likes to break people down and build you back up like a soldier, Maybe at the time that's what he was doing. I don't know. But I do know I had to go apologize to China, and then I had a match with X-Pac. And at the time, X-Pac was Vince's darling. Hell of a worker, Sean. And Vince said, if you can't have a good match with X-Pac, then you're fired. So tonight,